Let's go with the big stories that we've missed. Swagu, Justin Fields, will he be the Steelers starting quarterback week 1 of the season?
Off season, absolutely, G. Listen, I think you bring Justin Fields in if you're Pittsburgh. I love the situation he's in with Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith. They got to give him a shot because you could be potentially talking about your franchise quarterback as opposed to this revolving door that they've had at quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger retired.
I love it, and I completely agree. We'll see if it goes that way. How about your old team, the Ravens, who you played for? If I were to say, what does Derrick Henry make them? Derrick Henry makes the Ravens what?
Derrick Henry makes Todd Monken look to the sideline and say, you know what? I might need to hand the ball off more than 7 times in the AFC Championship game because that dude is going to be bigger than most of your offensive linemen, and hopefully his stature reminds you that you can be dominant in the run game and they can continue to have a successful ground game with what they've been able to do in the passing game under Todd Monken tutelage. But hopefully he's just the reminder that we actually can hand the football off.
And then finally, and it takes me great joy to ask you this question. Did the New York Jets have the best offseason in the NFL?
Yes, they did, G. Yes, they did. And Joe Douglas has been absolutely phenomenal at getting free agents, i.e. us talking about Aaron Rodgers for 949,000 days leading up to the time he signed with the Jets. But you look at the move that they've made with the guys bringing them in. And obviously the one thing is health, but I love the Hassan Reddick ad. I like the Mike Williams ad to go opposite of Garrett Wilson. They had a phenomenal offseason with a lot of key pieces and what they need to do. Health is going to be the most important thing because if they're healthy, they're contenders.
Well, here are the pieces that you're talking about. A lot of veterans, most notably offensive line help, wide receiver help, the backup quarterback, and then the addition on defense, Hassan Reddick, who yesterday said this.
I'm happy to be around a group of guys like this, a talented roster such as this one. It's going to be fun, man. I don't think anybody's ready for what's about to happen. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be entertaining. It should have already been that way for you guys when you look at the defense. But I know what I bring. I know the juice that I'm going to bring and the energy.
No, I'm ready for the juice. I'm ready for the energy. Squeeze me. all the juice you can possibly get. I'm ready. Tim Hasselbeck, if we get Aaron Rodgers and we can keep him upright, what are the New York Jets? What are they capable of doing this season?
Look, they're a legitimate contender. Marcus is right. They've had a great offseason. Greeny, and I would just say, like, there is somebody ready. You're ready, okay? Hassan Reddick said no one's ready. I think you're ready. You were ready last summer, too. Okay, I just would say when I look at the Jets, I think it's fair to love everything they've done this offseason in terms of the additions, and we just went over that. I think the other aspect of it is this. When you look at Aaron Rodgers and his return, that's a really big deal. I don't know that we can overstate that part of it because of the impact that Aaron Rodgers, I think, ends up having on this football team. The quarterback play for years has been the thing that's handcuffed the Jets. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, it's fair to say that, look, he'll be one of the very best quarterbacks in the league because he's proved to do it every single year that he's been healthy. And so I think that impact, along with the additions, make them a legitimate contender.
Look, here's the reality, Graziano, that so much of the conversation surrounding Aaron Rodgers has had nothing to do with football. It's almost like we've forgotten that he's a football player because he was hurt and he says so many things.
Yeah, it's his fault.
That makes it, no, I'm not suggesting it isn't. Yeah. What I'm saying is he talks about so much other stuff that people react to so strongly that sometimes you have to remind yourself, oh yeah, regardless of any of that, regardless of what you think of any of that, he's freaking great. Yeah. And he's so much better than what we had a year ago.
Obviously.
What do we have here working?
You have an exciting high wire act, right? That has potential to be fantastic. I think I love what they've done this offseason because it's uniquely great for them. There are other teams in the league where if they made the exact same moves, you would have gone, well, that's a little risky. But with the Jets, why not? I mean, you're already basing the whole thing on a 40-year-old quarterback. You don't know. Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great player. He could play great. He could also fall off at age 40. He could also struggle to get through the whole season. You don't know that, but you're not operating in those areas. You're operating in the upside, the potential of what this roster with this quarterback can be, and every move they have made this offseason reflects that. It doesn't matter if they go 10-7. You just as soon go 3-14
Right.
if you can't make it to the Super Bowl with this team.
So, Marcus, what is it? What's the ceiling? If it goes, they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. It's hard to do. But if somehow they manage to do it, what's the result?
The result is they are, like we've heard, legit contenders. And with Aaron back there, you got a potential to win any game that you play in because of how he plays. But when you think about this, G, we've seen this happen on the NFC side. This is nothing but a carbon copy of what the Los Angeles Rams went through. We remember them picks and making sure that they were building a team for right now. And we talked about how would this be 3 years afterwards. They gonna leverage everything. Well, this is where the New York Jets are. They've been in purgatory. And this is a team that spent an offseason telling everyone that we're fed up with not being relevant in the AFC and not being relevant in the conversation to win a Super Bowl with all of the things that have transpired in the AFC. The problem is Patrick Mahomes is still over there. Lamar Jackson is still over there. It's a lot tougher road for the Jets than it was for the Los Angeles Rams when they built that team. But again, the most important thing, and like we talked about last offseason, it was the offensive line. How would they play? And this season going in, yes, they have really good players in those positions. Will they stay healthy throughout the rest of the season? Because we know what the issue was 3 minutes into the season this year.
The Rams were further along than the Jets are now. They had been in a Super Bowl a couple years earlier. They had been in the playoffs pretty regularly. So there's still a lot of people in the Jets building that have a lot to prove.
Yeah.
The coaching staff. As great as the defense has been, the team hasn't done much winning. Bringing in a guy that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago with the Eagles is a good move.
I'll pretend I didn't hear any of that. As we
The last
continue.
part was good.